Welcome in, folks, for another episode of What's Bruin. It is Chris and Gayle coming to you again on a Wednesday night, 6:30 Eastern. Bruins are back above 500. Mason Lorhei is now up in the ninth floor. Gayle, how you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just before we sat down, we were talking about how just a couple weeks ago, I mean, you and I have been saying it all along, but just a couple weeks ago when they were on an 0-6-0 streak, we were trying to, calm the pulse of people freaking out about this team that was 3-6 at the time, and just said, give it some time. And well, just 2 weeks later, they're back to third place in the division. And,
one game above 500.
They're one game above 500, won 4 of their last 5. Like, all the arrows are pointing up. Are we riding this roller coaster up? Because I'm not.
No,
I'm going to enjoy it. Like, I would much rather win 4 of 5 than lose 6 straight. But, I mean, again, my feelings about what this team are and what they can be, they haven't really changed much. This isn't the season that I think anybody looked at and went, we're going all in this year. This is a cup contending year. This is a foundation building season. And the foundation things are what you need to be looking towards right now. How are
you
they
don't
playing?
have to be a cup contender all in to have a successful season. And I think that's the problem that most people have.
Right. Like, they are looking at this year as building the foundation, as I said, so that next season, when they have that influx of, in theory, some more of the higher end talent.
I disagree with you. I 100% disagree with you. The way they've played these last 4 games defensively is the way they want this team to play. They are a hard out. They are what Cam Neely and Don Sweeney have envisioned this entire time.
Yes, this team. But they're trying to keep a longer vision window open. And so, yes, this is what they want right now from this team. We're seeing it have success, and they're going to build off of it because they want their high-end players to play this same way.
If they keep consistently playing the way they're playing, they're not going to win every single game. But they'll go on a 4-game winning streak. They'll lose a game. They'll win 2. They'll lose a game. They may lose 2 in a row. But if this team plays the way it's played the last 4 games, they can play against any team in this league.
Mm-hmm. And they can hang in any 7-game series.
Correct.
They just need to have 4 better games than they have.
So why, if you're saying they can be in any 7-game series, they can beat Toronto in a 7-game series. If they're playing the way they are, depending on where Florida is going to be that would be a tough 7-game series. But I'm not sure that they can't not beat Florida.
Yeah. It's the balancing act of trying to win now while also keeping an eye on towards the future. So right now, this early in the season, when you're trying to rebuild the foundations of your entire franchise. All right. Let's see. Jason says, don't need to win the cup as long as they are competitive and are working towards building a contender, which is what they're doing. That's what they're doing right now.
Right. But being competitive, yes, they don't need to win the cup, but who doesn't want to see this team in the playoffs? Who doesn't want to see the Bruins in the playoffs? Only the people that want them to tank.
Kevin doesn't want to see this team in the playoffs.
You just signed on, so that's why I said it. That's why I said it when I did. But let's be realistic. Would you rather have the Boston Bruins competing all season long, finish in the top 3 in their division, go second or third round in the playoffs, or get a lottery pick? What would you rather?
I'd rather them be a playoff team.
Rather see?
I'd rather them be a playoff team.
Right.
100%. Playoff hockey is more fun. Kevin says, I can't stand this team. They're going to finish in the playoff bubble, either in or out. It's literally the worst place to be when you need to infuse high-end young talent.
But they are infusing their talent.
They
Fraser
are.
Minten, Marat Husadinov. They are. Marat Husadinov, look at what he's done in the past 3 games.
Yeah, this team has 6 players 30 years of age or older. And by the way, the 30-year-old is Nikita Zadorov. Older than him, you have Jonas Korpisalo, Elias Lindholm, Hampus Lindholm, Victor Arvidsson, and Sean Kuraly. And by the way, Sean Kuraly's 33, and he's the oldest player on the team. So, like you said, Minten, 21, Husadinov, 23. Jordan Harris is only 25. Mason Lorhei's 25. Asparot's 26. Like, it's still a young team. And I know it's not the 16, 17, 18-year-old prospects that people want, but if you want to watch kids that young, go watch where they play. This is the NHL. Yes, Kevin, that is what they're doing. They are infusing high-end talent, high-end young talent.
If you don't think that Marat Husadinov is high-end, maybe not in Colorado, but he is in Boston.
You mean Minnesota?
No, I'm just giving another example.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying where he came from. I'm just saying maybe not on like a team like Colorado.
Yeah, he's not outplaying Nathan McKinnon.
Huh?
He's not outplaying Nathan McKinnon.
Right.
And for anybody to have that as their bar, go watch Colorado.
He's not outplaying David Pastrnak. He doesn't need to outplay David Pastrnak. He needs to complement David Pastrnak.
What's the age-old adage? We're looking for the right players. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you're looking for the guys that can complement what you have in your building blocks, which are Swayman, McAvoy, Pastrnak. You're trying to identify some of the other ones. We're starting to see some of that. Zadorov looks like he's going to be one of them. Hampus Lindholm is one of them.
You're forgetting Geeky.
Geeky is now one of them. Likely, I'm in the camp that Pavel Zacha is part of that group. Like, did you just see Kevin's comment?
Yeah.
Says this team will be middle of the pack for years to come. Building a cup team through free agency doesn't work. Ask Nashville. So we need high picks. Well, let's see. Arvidsson was a trade. Elias Lindholm was a trade. Korpisalo was a trade.
Morgan Geeky was a free agent.
Pastrnak was drafted. Zacha was a trade. McAvoy was drafted. Geeky, like you said, he was a free agent signing, but restricted free agent. Middlestad, who's 5th on the team in scoring, he was a trade. Who, again, only 27 years of age. Swayman was drafted. Like, they don't have as many people signed as free agents as you're putting the blame on. Kevin, that is. He says, we haven't had the best luck hitting on franchise players, so picking higher gets you that. This is where I'll pull the question, Kevin. If you haven't had the best luck hitting on franchise players in the draft, why do you want them taking higher and more expensive swings to do it?
Let's see. Franchise players in the draft. Patrice Bergeron. Let's go back. In the draft, players the Bruins have drafted in the history: Ray Bourque, Patrice Bergeron, David Krejci, Brad Marchand. Let's go back a little bit further. Who else has the Bruins drafted? There's more in there.
Yeah,
and those are all franchise players.
Yeah, which David I get the counter. the counter would be those weren't Sweeney's draft picks, but Kevin says, I'm not talking about the current team and what's here. I'm talking about moving forward. Kevin, this is the team right now. You can only comment on what's here right now because that first round draft pick that you're so worried about, you want it to be a high-end pick, but it's not even a high-end pick until after the lottery. You could be, what were we last? 4th from the bottom, and we fell 3 draft slots. We are lucky that James Higgins fell to us. He would not have fallen to us if we ended up at 9th overall. So with the lottery, it's just not worth it. Like, it's just not. Jason says they could sell and still make the playoffs. Some of the young guys in Providence look good, and if Tufte keeps it up, I don't see how you don't give him a look. Tufte plays the style of game they're trying to play. He's been fine in the back of the net.
I mean, if Lindholm's injury ends up being worse than it is, or long term he ends up on IR, because right now he's not on IR. But if he ends up being out long term, and they get into another one of their slumps, then yeah, I could see them bringing up Tufte or another one of the forwards that's performing down in Providence. But if this team is winning, if this team is consistently winning, they're not going to just bring him up just to bring him up if the team's winning.
Yeah.
Because that's not, we all know that's not how the Bruins operate. As much as, even if we want them to operate that way, that's not, they're not going to. The reason why Casey Middlestat got benched is because he wasn't performing and he came back pissed off. The reason why Mason Lorhei got benched is because he was making too many mistakes and he wasn't performing. And the team started winning as soon as he got out of the lineup, and McAvoy and Zadorov were put together. And lo and behold, he's been sitting up top 4 games.
A lot of credit has to go to Jonathan Asperot for that, though, because he's offered extreme stability in the defensive zone. He's not blowing his assignments and making it so everyone feels the need that they have to, make up for it. And I think Sturm's comments the other day saying that Mason Lorhei should be pissed. This wasn't your bench. This was, you've lost your starting job. Now, when you get a chance, go take it back. I would not be surprised to wait to see, if we don't see Mason Lorhei for almost till the end of the month, because unless there's an injury or a back-to-back that says that someone should be sitting for a little while to get some extra rest, there's no need to put him back in the lineup and reward him for sitting for 3 weeks. You want him to have that fire and build that fire and continue to get that feeling of, I was not good enough.
Right.
But you can't send him to Providence. Now, here, one caveat to that.
Well, you can.
You can send him there on a conditioning stint, though. If he is benched for the right duration of time, then you can send him down to Providence for a conditioning stint and then bring him back up after that stint is over. Now, I believe you can only do that. Hopefully, Dom is in the comments, because I believe you can only do that with a player once in a season. But for Mason Lorhei, now might be the time to utilize that, because you're also sending that message. If you don't get your head screwed on correctly, you will lose your job. We will move on from you. And if this basically puts your career in jeopardy if you don't fall in with the way things need to be done. Maybe you go to another team and have success, but that's not our issue, basically. And then as far as calling someone up for Elias Lindholm, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see someone called up until maybe the 12th next week.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It depends on the injury.
No, I don't think they've already said he's out for weeks. Right. He's out 4 weeks, period. They don't have to rush somebody up here. And because of that, until they make back-to-back road trip, like a full-fledged road trip, and they want a full 13 skaters, 14 skaters. Okay, so tomorrow's game is at home. All right. they still have an extra skater beyond the 12-day dress. You don't need to call someone up. They might call someone up for the trip to Toronto, but because they can retroactively put Lindholm on IR, they don't need to do that right away. They would definitely want to have 2 extra forwards, though, for Ottawa, Montreal next week in back-to-back road games. For sure as hell going to do it for that road trip out west when you play Anaheim, LA, San Jose, and Islanders a week later. So it's just a matter of time before they call someone up. Let's see. Jason says, I agree they won't change anything if they keep winning, but there's always injuries. Yeah, that's why I said injuries could derail that. Matrix says Lorhei's been terrible. Got to do something with them. They are. Not time to move on, though. I disagree with that sentiment. He's not a lost cause. Mason Lorhei is not yet. He's not a lost cause. Are you ready to give up on him?
No, I'm happy that he's sitting up on the 9th floor. And I think that if he does get his shot and he doesn't bounce back the way Casey Middlestat did, then it may be time to move on.
Yeah, but you got to give him
I'm not ready
sink
yet.
or swim. Yeah, you got to give him that chance to sink or swim there.
Well, they don't really have to. They don't. No one
Yeah.
has to. No, you know what I mean? Like, if the team is playing well and Jordan Harris is making his way back and John Aspart's playing the way he's playing, then why?
Yeah. I mean, at some point you'll have to make a decision whether you're going to give him that chance or not. But you're still a little ways away from that, so it's not the end of the world. I am trying to pull up Providence schedule to see, because they play on Friday and Saturday this week, and then they have a Wednesday game next week. But that gives you at least 2 games against Cleveland to figure out which forward you're going to call up. Because I mean, if people aren't watching, Matthew Poitras is not their best center right now.
Well, but the other thing is, too, is that people have to keep in mind, if the team, again, is winning, or, they may drop a game here or there, but if they're playing the way they've played the last 4 games, it may not be Tufte. It could be that they move the pieces around and they call up Patrick Brown to play on the 4th line.
Yeah. I was just looking at Providence's schedule. That Providence plays at home against Hartford on Wednesday the 12th, which is the day that they are unless they travel after the game on Tuesday against Toronto at home. But it's a 7:00 game, so they would travel on the Wednesday. So that means
where are they going Wednesday?
Wednesday they're flying to Ottawa. They have Ottawa on Thursday, and Saturday they have Montreal.
No, they'll practice Wednesday. They'll more than likely practice on Wednesday or have an optional skate on Wednesday, and then fly to Ottawa that night.
Yeah,
they're not going to fly after.
But if you're bringing someone up for those 2 games on the road, and it is such a last minute type thing, and you're maybe not playing that person in the lineup for either of those games.
Yeah, they're slated for practice Wednesday right now, according to their schedule.
Are they? That's good. They need practices, as we've seen. Practices help. What do you know? No, if you're going to call someone up because you want to bring 14 forwards to Ottawa and Montreal with you, I'm not calling up Matthew Poitras. I would call up Patrick Brown for that trip, because Patrick Brown, as a veteran, I can call him up. I can bring him to Ottawa, sit him. I can bring him with me to Montreal, play him or not, sit him or not, and then send him back to Providence and not screw up his game. Now, if you're bringing Matthew Poitras, you better be playing him. I'll put it that way. Which maybe they do. I don't know. Matrix says he's had 3 years to figure it out. He hasn't figured it out. I'm assuming that's Mason Lorhei.
He hasn't had 3 years. Because the first year he was up and down. He didn't have a full year. Last year was his first full season in the NHL. And he didn't have McAvoy or Lindholm for majority of the season. So no, he has not had 3 years to figure it out.
He's played 129 career games. So that's a little over a season and a half, Matrix. So he's not had 3 years to figure it out. He's had 3 calendar years, but he's only had 129 games. Go and look at the history of defensemen. That magic number tends to be around 200. I'm not willing to give up on Mason Lorhei, or at least have that conversation until he's approaching 200 games. And even then, because of his late switch to the position and the fact that he's had so many additional things thrown at him, like you said, thrown to the Wolves last year with the injuries to McAvoy, Lindholm, and then the trading of Brandon Carlo. And then, he was definitely called up before he was fully ready. And then you've had the system change this year. Like, all of that thrown at someone who's still trying to learn the position, give him till about 250 games. Honestly, he's going to take a little longer. But we can start having the conversation around 200. I'm fine with that.
Bring up Kevin's comment about Swayman.
Yes. I knew there was something I was forgetting. He asks if we are worried about this Swayman contract yet. Are you? I'll let you take this one first.
No.
I'll put it this way. Why the hell should I be?
Right.
Let's see. Jason says, Lorhei will figure it out, but I don't know if this system is the best fit for him. Jason, that might be the case. But you don't know right now because you're not seeing what Mason Lorhei is fully capable of. And I do think this benching, again, this isn't just a temporary, like, he has to wait for his opportunity to come back. And when it does, he better show how much he's pissed, as that's what Sturm is looking for. Sturm told you what he's looking for. He wants him to come in pissed that he missed X time, whatever it turns out to be.
Can we just, how many goalies are there in the league?
In the NHL, at least, we'll go with the number 64.
Okay. And you can, if you're looking at it, like, he is 16th in the league. 16th. Out of all the goaltenders. And you have to look at the fact that the team that was playing in front of him.
Yeah. Oof. Let's not talk about that, what he's had the last 2 seasons. Now, here's my other counter to that, Kevin. He says he's about 60-40 on it, 60% not worried, 40% not worried. Let me ask you this. Off the top of your head, and Kevin, you can answer this in the comments, Matrix, anybody. I want a list of the goaltenders that are surefire better than Jeremy Swayman. Surefire better than Jeremy Swayman right now. Mason Lorhei, Matrix adds, Mason Lorhei is not piss and vinegar kind of player. Well, that's the thing.
I'm sorry.
That's the thing, though, is you're trying to get him to develop the physicality and put that part into his game. He can move the puck with the best of them. You're just trying to develop the defensive spot so that when he hits something, he's a big boy. So when he hits something, you don't want it to be the wall. You want it to be a body, and you want it to be the right body. Like, why were people so pissed off at Nikita Zadorov last season? Because he seemed that he was more interested in making a hit than he was sometimes in playing the play. So if you can get hitting the body in Mason Lorhei's game, and it's the right body, and you already have the puck mover, you've got a hell of a defenseman there. Let's see.
I gotta a little bit. The system may not be his best. It may not be the best for him because when you're playing man to man, he needs to focus on his man.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I said, when Jason made that comment, I agree with it 100%. But that would be why you move on from him right now, not because you're giving up on him as a player, because he's not going to fit what you're doing going forward. And then Kevin says, I don't need to do that. I'm not fully worried about it. He just doesn't want to put the work in to answer my question about the surefire goaltenders better than Jeremy Swayman. I just have yet to see him succeed as a number one. And I understand the variables at play here.
Well, but then if you understand the variables and you understand that this team defense played its best games the past 4 games and has allowed Swayman and Corpusalo to win those games because they're playing better in front of them, that's a huge factor. When you look at the way on that 0-6-0 run that they had, the biggest issue is team defense. It wasn't goaltending, it was team defense.
Right. And as soon as they straightened it out, the goaltending numbers completely flipped.
Mm-hmm.
They completely flipped. And yeah, Lorhei in the USHL was definitely a lot more physical, yes, but he also almost got cut before he got moved to being defenseman. So it doesn't matter how much piss and vinegar you have in your game if you aren't on the roster. So it's not just a matter of having piss and vinegar in his game. It's a matter of playing the position correctly. So he's learning to do that. And then Kevin adds, that's why I'm not fully worried. I'm not sitting here saying, oh my God, the house is burning down. Swayman is terrible, which, right. I was actually asking him for that list for a different reason. But the crux of my point, I mean, the goaltenders that are quote unquote better than Swayman right now, definitively the ones that everybody turns to, right? Shesterkin, Bobrovsky, Vasilevsky, Hellebuck. Those are what the top 4 names.
And it's funny because Bobrovsky is 6-4-0 and Swayman is 5-4-0. He's just faced more shots, which is why he has a better, and he's given up less goals, but Florida has a worse record. You know what I mean? So yes.
And have played fewer games, by the way.
Correct.
And so, but Bobrovsky, 37 years old. Shesterkin, 29. He's the closest as far as Jeremy Swayman has to worry about in terms of longevity. Connor Hellebuck, 32. Andrei Vasilevsky, injury problems now, 31 years old. Vasilevsky is not what he used to be even 2 years ago, let alone 5, 6, 7 years ago, which is what everybody's remembering. Vasilevsky is not what he once was. He's still really damn good. And I would not want to face him in a game 7, but he's beatable. Mm-hmm. Kevin says, but he's won cups and is an established goaltender. Yeah, but in order to win cups, you have to get there. And in order to get there, you have to have the team behind you. Because guess what? Jordan Binnington's won a cup before. All right. So, and I'm not worried about Jeremy Swayman and Jordan Binnington getting outplayed by Binnington. I'm just not. Now, Binnington can step his game up and play as good as him, but Jeremy Swayman on his best day is way better than Jordan Binnington when it comes to being a goaltender. I'm not worried about the contract. No, you shouldn't be. Anyway.
Moving on.
What's that?
I said moving on.
Moving on. I don't know where you want to go next. I mean, there's only been a couple games since our last show. Like, it's funny because we talked about how much this team needs practice, and now they're getting a couple days
they
to
played
practice.
They played Thursday, Saturday, and Tuesday. So they've played 3 games. Out of those 3 games, the Carolina game was probably their best game.
It might have been their best game all season.
And last night was their first road victory since opening night.
Oh shoot, was it really? Oh yeah, because that entire losing streak was all on the road.
Correct.
Oof.
With the exception of the loss to Ottawa at home and the loss to Tampa Bay at home. It was a 4-game roadie.
Yeah, that's right. Wow. And tomorrow's your redemption against Ottawa, the biggest clunker of the season.
Right. They had their redemption against Colorado. Against Colorado. So it's possible that they get, again, if they're playing the game that they played over the last 4 games, then they 100% could beat Ottawa.
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean, right now, I don't see why they wouldn't beat them until I see their game go to crap again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't see it happening. It's not. Now, does that mean they're going to win every single game? No. No,
but they're not going to get blown out of the barn again.
Exactly. They could lose to Ottawa 3-2 tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. They could lose 2-1. They could lose 1-0. They could lose 2-0. You know what I mean? But they're not going to get blown out 7-2.
I don't see it.
No.
I don't see it. And I don't see it happening against Toronto.
Not if you keep McAvoy and Zadorov together. Not if you're whoa. That's
What's
weird.
up?
Oh, there it is. My computer wouldn't plug it. I'm like, why isn't my computer plugging in?
Where's the power?
Listen, so I was at work today, off subject. I was at work today, and it was a partners meeting. So whenever they have a partners meeting, it's the first Wednesday of the month. They always order us lunch. Nice. And so lunch got delivered, and I was finishing something before I was going to lunch, and a friggin' mouse ran out from underneath my desk. I'm like, guess Mickey wants food.
As long as the mouse didn't run across the food, you're good to eat.
Yeah, well, no, the food was in the kitchen. I was at my desk. Good. But I was like, damn, Mickey
Go get those running. Straps. Yeah, right?
So I threw out every little bit of food that I had in my desk.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is open
protein
drawer.
Bars and stuff like that. And my husband's like, were there nibbles? I'm like, I don't care. There was a mouse in my desk.
Anyways. Oh boy. Oh, I knew where I figured out where I wanted to go next.
See, segue.
Reverse back. Although I'll read Jason's comment real quick. He says health is key for them. They don't have the depth to lose a top 4D or someone like Pasta or Geeky. 100%. Mm-hmm. Although
oh god, we're not going to play the what if game.
No, they have lost Elias Lindholm.
Yes.
And right now they're weathering the storm. That's the best way to put it.
And let's also keep in mind too that there's no coincidence that Hampus Lindholm came back 4 games ago as well.
Yeah. Kevin says Geeky's exceeding the expectations. He's my favorite thing about this team right now. That's definitely a good thing to be your favorite.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's my favorite. There's a lot of different. I think what my favorite thing about this team right now is Marco Sturm.
Yeah.
The reason why he is my favorite right now, Marco Sturm. Let's talk about what he's done. Okay.
He has pushed every single button this team needed pushed.
Not only that, but he implemented a new system. And instead of saying, we don't have time to practice, we had a 6-game losing streak, we're going to stick with this system, I'm going to move personnel around. Not only has he sent Lorhei up to the 9th floor and put Zadorov and McAvoy together, which you and I have talked about a couple of times, like when is this going to happen? But not only that, but when Elias Lindholm got injured, it wasn't like, oh, we'll just move Zacha up. It's let's reward one of the younger guys. Let's give Husadinov a chance. Not only, you and I discussed this on chat, not only has he trusted him on the number one line, but he trusted him in Fraser Minten in that 3-on-3 overtime when Husadinov won the game for the Bruins.
Last night.
Not last night. It was 2
No, but I'm saying he put
Right.
Fraser Minten and Murat Husadinov on the ice in a 3-on-3 overtime twice.
Yeah. So what Sturm is doing is he's seeing the strengths and he's not afraid to say, all right, it's not that we're not getting offense from who I think we need to get offense from, but we need to jumpstart. So I'm going to move Geeky, your number one scoring forward right now, to the third line.
Yep.
And it wasn't a punishment.
Nope. And also, you remember last night, the other line he made? Minten, Pasternak, Husnadinov.
Yeah.
He's moving things around. And I mean, obviously there's a little bit of a message being sent in general when you shake up the lines.
Right.
But it's not just, oh, you suck, go to the third line.
Right.
See you later. It is, hey, I'm rewarding this player. Mm-hmm. And you're the person who's not playing well enough, so you're the one who's taking the hit.
But it's not even just that. It's I'm rewarding this player, and you're mature enough to know that this is not a punishment, Jake DeBrusk, and go play your role no matter where I put you.
Exactly. It's both messages there.
That's the coach's message. The coach's message is, I'm not punishing you. I'm trying to elevate this team. And the players aren't, yes, they're not getting pissed when they get moved down a line. Yes, Middlestat got pissed, but Middlestat also said, what am I going to do? Sit there and pout?
Right.
Right. So Middlestat came out and said, I needed to come out and be better, which he did.
When there was accountability, by the way, people, that's called accountability. That's what we're looking for here.
Right.
That's the culture.
And Zacha, since they moved him to the middle, which you and I had long conversations about this as well, I'm glad that he didn't just go, oh, I'm going to move Zacha up to the top line to play with Pasternak with Lindholm out. No, because Zacha, Middlestat, and Arvidsson are building chemistry.
It's the only line he didn't touch last night. The only line he didn't touch.
But you know what?
They're having success.
Kastelik, Corrali, and Minten, until that line got messed up a little bit, that line had so much energy. Kastelik, no matter where you put him in the lineup, Geeky, no matter where you put him in the lineup, they're gonna elevate. They're gonna keep their game the same way. And if you watched the unobstructed views last night, one thing that caught my attention was that what Andrew Raycroft said. When you're on the third or fourth line and you're used to being on the first or second line and you get moved, or no matter, even if you're not, and it could be that you're coming back from injury, or for whatever reason, or it could be that's your role, 6 to 9 minutes a game, it's harder to keep that energy up when you're sitting on the bench and all of a sudden you get thrown out there only 6 to 7 minutes a game to keep that energy and play consistently at that energy. It's kind of like that old saying with goaltenders, want to face as many shots as possible, because if they're facing 2 shots a period, it takes them out of their game. Because they're not focused.
100%. And it's really the biggest thing that he's showing is that time on ice. If you go back and you look at, I'm trying to pull up yesterday's game, the time on ice, like you're seeing Hustadinov get normal, second line minutes, basically, but he's also not out there on power play
and that's the other thing too. The Bruins have taken 71 penalties, right? Yeah. So that's gonna screw up a lot of the.
We got to fix that.
That's going to screw up a lot of the time on ice for some of the forwards, that your penalty killers are going to get an uptake. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
So Johnny Beecher may get more minutes than Marco Sturm one game if they're in the box for 10 minutes.
Yeah, so right now, let's see. Obviously, you've got Swayman, Korpisalo, McAvoy, Zadorov, Pasternak, then the rest of your D, Geeky, Lindholm, Lorhei. Morgan Geeky is second in average time on ice when it comes to forwards. Then Zacha, Lindholm, Middlestat, Arvidsson, and there's a pretty significant difference. Victor Arvidsson is averaging 14.22 in ice time. Meanwhile, Morgan Geeky is averaging 18.01.
Right. Well, Arvidsson, up until Lindholm getting injured, wasn't on the power play.
Right. That's the disparity that we're talking about.
That's one thing right there. Geeky's always on the power play.
Right.
And he's on PP1.
And
It's not
Sean
even
Corrali,
he's on PP2, he's on PP1.
And Corrali, who's a penalty killer, is averaging 14.01 in ice time, which would ideally come down if you can stay out of the godforsaken penalty box.
And Kastelik, who are one of your top penalty killers.
Yep.
They're going to average the same amount of minutes because they're going to be out there killing penalties.
Michael Eyssimont is the player with the least amount of average ice time, but he doesn't kill penalties, and he's
not on the power play, and he's on the third line.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Fourth. Right. And it's not a knock on him. In fact, I don't want to see him taken out of the lineup. He's bringing those 11 minutes that he's on the ice. He's bringing it all 11 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
He's created a lot.
Not one person on this team is dogging it.
No, not at all.
They're all moving their feet. Now, yes, during the 060 run, they were missing assignments. There were breakdowns in communication on who was covering who, where they were going, but they weren't dogging it on the ice. They weren't not moving their feet. They weren't not going for loose pucks. They just couldn't get in that mindset to get where they needed to be. But they're not sitting there going, oh, I'm only playing 6 minutes, so I'm just gonna, go out there and not move my feet.
Right.
Not to bring up Luch because whatever, but how many times did you watch Luch on the ice, Milan Lucic, and he wasn't moving his feet? And you're like, dude, what are you doing? You're a power forward. Move your feet. You should be skating towards the puck, not gliding down the ice. Wouldn't that piss you off?
It would royally piss me off if I'm one of his
teammates. There's not one player on this Bruins team that is doing that.
Right. And that also is part of the culture that they're trying to rebuild. So
can we bring up Jason's question?
Yeah, I was going to mention Kevin's first because it's been sitting here for a minute. He said, Geeky and Zacha are giving me a glimmer of hope that this team maybe has more than just 2 top 6 guys. I hope it continues because when you add in Hagens, you might have something. And then Jason asks, do you think we see Geeky at center again, or is he a permanent winger? Everybody's looking for a 1C, and we might already have him.
You do. His name is Elias Lindholm.
Look, I don't want to move Geeky back to center unless we absolutely have to.
No, Elias Lindholm is your top line center when he's healthy.
I'm not even talking about on the top line. I'm just talking in general. He is a winger.
No, he's talking about 1C. He said everyone's looking for a 1C. The Bruins are not looking for a 1C. They have him. His name is Elias Lindholm. And Elias Lindholm was leading the league in faceoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He's your 1C.
100%.
100%.
He is your 1C. And, if there's a long time between now and the trade deadline, so things really have to go to shit between now and the trade deadline in order for you to start thinking about who are we going to sell off. Because until that happens, you're not selling anybody. Yeah, you might move a piece like Victor Arvidsson if you determine that Arvidsson's not a long-term piece of your future. But that decision also has not been made right now.
What does that have to do with the 1C?
Well, I'm just saying, if pieces become available, because he's talking about everyone else is looking for a top line center. So you have Elias Lindholm. You also have Morgan Geekie. Like, these are guys who can play
I
center.
think when he says everyone looking for a 1C, I don't think he's talking about other teams. I think he's talking about Bruins fans. I think Bruins fans still have not gotten the memo that Elias Lindholm is a solid top line center for this team.
Right. And then Kevin adds in drafting James Higgins tells me they are looking for a 1C. If he hits a ceiling, he will be dropping Lindholm to 2C, which there are still concerns about James Higgins' game getting to a 1 or 2C level. So James Higgins is a very talented player, but now,
if he hits his ceiling and you drop Lindholm to 2C, that's a whole different ballgame we're talking about right now.
He's the Bruins 1C. Name me a contender that he's the 1C on.
Right now, he would be in Florida because their 1C in Florida is Sam Bennett right now, and he sucks.
Also, last time I checked, in order to be a contender, you have to be in the playoffs. And the Bruins are in the playoffs. They're third in the division. So right now, like, is he better than McKinnon or McDavid or whatever? No. But there are only one of those players. There's only one Connor McDavid. There's only one Nathan McKinnon. There's only one, some people would throw Austin Matthews in there, whatever. Like, okay, is he better than Jack Hughes? They might actually honestly be on par. Jack Hughes plays a different type of game. He's more of a scorer. Lindholm is a true two-way forward. So depends on what you need him to do. His game is more versatile. But no, to your first question, I don't think we see Geekie back on the wing on the center. He is a shooter and he deserves to be on the wing. That's where he's having success. That's where you leave him. Let's see. Right, but I'm sure everyone would be happier with Lindholm at 2C, but I'm fully okay with him being there right now.
I wouldn't be happy with him at 2C. Not right now. Why would I want Lindholm as a 2C? Who on this team is a 1C?
What 1C is available that you could replace Elias Lindholm with in general?
Well, I don't even care. Like, I'm not talking replace him outside of the organization because it's not happening. The Bruins are not trading him, right? So who on this team or in this organization who is ready to play in the NHL is a better center than Elias Lindholm?
Right now, no one.
Right now.
Right now, no one.
Correct.
Now, 2 years from now, a year from now, but that's not today.
But 2 years from now, David Pastrnak may not even be the number one goal scorer on this team.
2 years from now, the freaking Vancouver Canucks could have given up, sold things off, and you may have traded James Higgins for Quinn Hughes. We don't know. It hasn't happened yet. So, let's see. My comment didn't say right now. I'm just saying I'm sure we would all like to have all better option at 1C than Lindholm at 2C. Well,
but who? Patrice Bergeron's not coming back.
Yes, Kevin, I would love to have our center depth go Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, so on and so, Sidney Crosby, and so on and so forth. I would love to have an all-star team where the salary cap doesn't matter. But it's not happening. It's not happening. Anyway, we were talking about Sturm before and all the buttons and all the stuff that he was, that he's done. And I think one thing that is going completely, well, it didn't go unnoticed at the time, but the narrative around it was absolutely outrageous. Uh-oh.
No, I'm cold.
Okay. I thought you were reacting to one of Kevin's comments.
No, I turned the heat on in my office, but I'm still cold.
So last week, Marco Sturm turned to Jonas Korpisalo against the New York Islanders in the second leg of a back-to-back, and then went back to him against the Buffalo Sabres. You got two outstanding games from Korpisalo, and then he went back to Jeremy Swayman for yesterday's game. And now the question is tomorrow, Saturday, and then you have 2 more days off. Now, the narrative was, oh, do we have a goaltending controversy in Boston coming up?
No,
because Korpisalo was playing so well. But no. I'll let you go.
Well, did people forget that Swayman, so Korpisalo got 2 games back-to-back, won both of them. Swayman got 2 games back-to-back, won both of them. He was in net against Carolina. Korpisalo wasn't in net against Carolina. That was Swayman. So Swayman beat Carolina, and then he beat the Islanders last night.
Yeah.
So, no. The whole thing is that right now, the condensed schedule, if you have back-to-back games, a Saturday and a Sunday, or a Friday and a Saturday, or a Tuesday and a Wednesday, or whatever, you're probably not going to go back-to-back. But if you have a game, like, why wouldn't you put Swayman in tomorrow night? Why wouldn't you put Korpisalo in? It doesn't matter which goaltender you put in. They have faith in both of them. It doesn't matter.
No, from that perspective, no, I agree. It doesn't matter. The only reason why I would make a case to say go with Korpisalo tomorrow is because he hasn't played in a week. That's it. That's the only reason why. Because you got Swayman a game yesterday. You can go to Swayman again on Saturday. You have 2 more days off. But because you have those 2 days off, you could go Swayman tomorrow and Saturday and then open the following week's games with Korpisalo. It's just at that point you're going 10 days between starts for
Korpisalo tomorrow and Saturday. You could go either way with these 2 goaltenders.
Oh, yeah.
You're back to a 1A, 1B.
Just don't tell people that because then they'll freak out about how much you're paying Korpisalo.
Right. Or how much you're paying Swayman.
Yeah,
you're
Kevin.
paying Swayman as your number 1. Okay. So, but clearly, this team has the luxury of throwing a coin up in the air and saying, we're going to play Korpisalo tonight. We're going to play Swayman tonight. And don't think that goalie Bob doesn't have a say in it, saying, Swayman has a winning record against this team and Korpisalo doesn't, but he shut down this player and this player now is playing for this team. So there's so many different factors that it's not just Korpisalo hasn't played since Thursday.
It's not the only factor, but it is a factor. But I honestly though, I'm looking at
how many games did he sit last year and he went in and he was not ice cold. He was fine.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the only reason why I would say go Korpisalo tomorrow, but I'm looking at it and I would go Swayman tomorrow because Swayman played Ottawa last time. And that was when the team in front of him gave up. Basically what you want to do is you want to get Swayman back in there and say, look, we've got your back this time. What happened last time against this team isn't going to happen again. Go out there, do your thing against them, and we will come away with this victory. You can go to Korpisalo against Toronto on Saturday. No big deal.
Right.
So, but no, there was no goaltending hunt. I saw that take at one point. I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me. But Tyler's got a great point. Steve Spott deserves a lot of credit for the power play looking like it actually has life. Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, that was the Sturm the hire that Marco Sturm got.
But let's not also
granted, it couldn't have been much worse.
Fact that you've got Charlie McAvoy again, you've got Hampus Lindholm again, and up until a couple of games ago, you had a healthy Elias Lindholm. You know what I mean? So a lot of factors were coming into play, but definitely there's more puck movement and more body movement. Last year, David Pastrnak was planted and he barely moved. And now this power play is a lot more creative. And
there's another thing you have this year on it too.
What's that?
An actual second scoring threat in Morgan Geekie.
Yeah.
Teams have to. He has shown that teams have to keep an eye on him, which opens up a little bit more movement because it's not just go cover Pastrnak. He's the only one that they're going to try to get to shoot.
Well, and the other thing is last year it was go cover Pastrnak, but Pastrnak was planted at the face-off dot.
Yes, having the extra shooter though, I think gives Pastrnak the confidence in the fact that he doesn't have to be planted waiting to take every single shot that comes about. He can be part of the movement. He can make a pass to someone else on that unit who can rip a shot.
Yeah.
He's not sitting there going, I have to shoot this because no one else is going to. Because if that's the mentality, you're going to pick your favorite spot and go, this is where I can shoot from. I'm confident from here. Let me just take it from here. So let's see. Morgan Geekie may finish the year with more goals than. Come on, Kevin. You really think that?
Why? I don't think that.
I'm just giving him a hard time. No, it could be close.
But you got to also look at the fact at the assists that David Pastrnak put up last year.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. If that's the case, Pasternak's probably got 100 assists. But I mean, he'll finish with 100 and I would say probably 107, 110 points, Pastrnak, and he'll probably have a good 45, 50 goals. Like no reason not to think he won't. Geekie realistically will probably have somewhere in the vicinity of 30, 35, but he'll also get up there in assists too. So depends on how long Elias is out.
I wouldn't be surprised if Geekie gets closer to 40 goals this year.
He could. Absolutely, he could. You could see a 40, 45 number for Geekie with 45 for Pasta. This team has not had any trouble scoring at all. Scoring, which is the one problem that we thought this team was going to have coming into this season, zero problem. Tyler adds, I was just thinking that they play off Geekie a lot more this season. Was too much Pasta last year, which is what we were talking about on the power play. I'm saying that as a kudos to Geekie and how hot his stick is, not knocking Pasta. I didn't say you're knocking Pasta. I'm just one puck. So I'm just giving you a hard time.
One puck, one net.
It could. Oh, speaking of one puck, one net. Did you see the end of the OT in Nashville last night?
No.
Oh man. The goaltender, Unanen, the one they got from Colorado, ended up knocking the goalpost off the mooring on a pass across the crease. And so the goal is basically flinging around and spinning on what would be the goaltender's right side. And I forget who it was. They got one shot off. It hits the side of the net, comes back, and he basically puts it into a net that's not there because by that point it is flung around. And of course, the official called it a goal. They review the whole thing, and Nashville fans and even Stamkos is freaking out because the goal was off the thing, and it's become a big debacle, even though they called it correctly. So it's been funny to watch. Jason says, if Geekie scores 30 again consistently, Sweeney deserves a lot of credit for that contract. Jason, there's a lot of things that Sweeney deserves a lot of credit for that he doesn't get it.
Yeah. People love to hate Sweeney.
For one reason.
No, more than one reason, not just the 2015 draft, which, by the way, he had no control over, but that's besides the point. No, they love to hate him because they just think it's his fault that the team didn't perform in 2023.
Yeah, I mean, think about the narrative, how it's different if that team doesn't get eliminated, if Montgomery plays the right goaltender.
If that team made it through Florida and that team won a Stanley Cup, no one's having the same conversations that they were having the past 2 years.
If they win in 2019, no one's having the conversation.
That's a little far away for Boston fans.
I'm just saying.
But I'm just saying it's a little too far away for Boston fans.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't last year either. So that last year's really the big craw at this point. I mean, people just like to hate on him.
I agree, Kevin. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, he says I could see Geeky and Pasta being ending the year with 40 or more goals each. I realistically could see that Geeky has been consistent with this. I think he's on like a 49 goal pace.
Well, he's also the leading goal scorer in the NHL since January 12th.
Yeah, above I think he's above McDavid, above everybody.
Well, if he's the leading goal scorer, he would be above everyone.
Yeah. It's been a long day. Anyway, but yes, Kevin, they both could easily have 40 goal seasons. Geeky has just been a piece that I don't think people expected when they signed him.
And you know what? In the way Hustadinov's playing, he could end up with 15 to 20.
Yeah. Yeah, Hustadinov right now has 2 goals in 10 games. So, I mean, that right there puts him on a pace for right around 10 or 11.
Right.
But he also has missed 5 games. I don't think Hustadinov is coming out of the lineup anymore.
No, and he is proven that he can play with Pastrnak.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be times this year where we look at the lineup and we see shakeups. We've already seen it. We're going to see it again going forward. But one of the things that Marco Sturm has shown is he has shown an ability to see what a player is capable of. Like you said, he is coaching to their strengths.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not coaching scared either.
No.
Kevin says, do you think Zacha hits the 70-point mark this season? You just did the hard thing again.
Zacha has 13 points in 15 games so far.
Yeah. 10 of them are assists. So realistically, the question is, can he get about 55 assists? Because he's definitely a 15, 20 goal scorer minimum. He's capable of better, but I just don't know if he's going to end up shooting enough.
I mean, his career high in assists is 59. And I'm sorry, his career high in assists is 38. His career high in points is 59. But he seems to, him and Middlestat and Arvidsson have built a little bit of chemistry, number one. Number two, he has six of his assists are power plays. So as long as he continues to be on that top unit with Morgan Geeky, David Pastrnak, and Lindholm when he comes back, or whoever's out there, I think you're gonna see Zacha move up a threshold. He may not get up to 70 points, but he may get up to 65 this year, which isn't out of the realm because last year he had 47.
Yeah.
And the year before he had 59. So, in the year before that, he had 57. So he's been hovering around there. Last year, I mean, everyone's numbers could have been better last year.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's just with Zacha. So Zacha is capable of 70-point mark, 100% capable of it. And I'm going to take one of the things that you said there a step further. He doesn't just have chemistry with those guys. He's got chemistry with everybody on this team right now. And that's one of the other reasons why I don't trade him. Mm-hmm. Like it's as much as those rumors are going to be out there, he is the kind of guy that helps keep this locker room together. And we just don't see it because he's not wearing a letter. He's not in front of the cameras all the time. you don't trade that guy. He is a glue guy in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every bit as much as Hampus is, every bit as much as Pasternak is. Like,
even Zadorov now.
Yep. Zadorov is on that list. Like,
Zadorov not only became a leader, he became every bit the defenseman that Don Sweeney said he was going to be.
It's almost like Don Sweeney knew what he was doing in getting him.
Really? No. Sweeney's not good at his job, though.
Yeah, that's why he should be fired, right? Because they just turned in a season, they turned Nikita Zadorov into a top pairing defenseman. A guy who's bounced around for 5 teams in 6 seasons or whatever it was, 6 teams in 5 years, whatever it was. You have turned him into a top pairing defenseman. A good one at that. Like, this isn't Mason Lorhei on the first pairing last year. Like, and again, I'll take a line from Kevin. Would I like him to be my top pairing defenseman? Ideally, I don't. I'd rather him be a second or third pairing guy. But the fact that he is playing a top pair and he's capable of doing it and he's having success.
But the thing is that last year the goal was to put him and McAvoy together. They didn't work last year. They did not work last year. They are working this year.
They also didn't work last year because McAvoy didn't play most of the season.
No, but even before that, they were not. They, like everyone else, that they needed to build chemistry. And horrible camp last year. We've already discussed that. Horrible camp. Jim Montgomery, 1 foot out the door. Then you've got the interim coach in Joe Sacco. You know what I mean? So, and then you had the injury to Hampus Lindholm. Then you had the injury to Charlie McAvoy. And then you were missing Brad Marchand. You never knew that Elias Lindholm. We've been over this. Down the stretch, even before the trade deadline, Nikita Zadorov turned the corner. He got more comfortable. And I don't care. I'm so sick of but they're athletes. So what? You saw it through through that 6-game stretch of the Bruins learning a new system, not having enough practice. Just because you're a professional athlete doesn't mean it goes bam, you can do it in a heartbeat. It just doesn't work that way. Look at the historic season when they traded for Tyler Bertuzzi. I almost called him Todd again. And when they traded for Tyler Bertuzzi, it took him a while to get used to being in Boston. And everyone at first was like, why did they bring him in? And then all of a sudden, Tyler Bertuzzi turned into the player that most Boston Bruins fans expected him to be, that Don Sweeney knew he was going to be. So,
again, almost like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Jason says, I want another Zadorov. You're trying to build one, I guess you could say, a little bit more of an offensive one who is like, that's essentially what you're trying to do with Mason Lorhei, is you're trying to build someone who can have the physicality, not to the same level, but the other thing too is Zadorov is playing a scheme defensively this year that is more conducive to what he's played in other organizations. So he is a little bit more familiar with it, which gives him a leg up in pairing with Charlie McAvoy. McAvoy's gotten a lot of crap from people this year for his own mistakes, but McAvoy's a really smart player, and that goes underestimated by a lot of fans. And because of that, I do think there was a lot of, and we heard the team talk about it. One player makes a mistake, and then another player tries to make up for it. Another player makes up for that person being out of position, and then the domino effect just made everything go to shit. We heard that a lot. And I'm not trying to put all the blame on just Mason Lorhei, because it wasn't just him who was learning. But as your top pairing defenseman, playing with Charlie McAvoy, it's going to be the most noticeable.
Well, and the other thing is too is that people, okay, and I'm going back again, but people expect Charlie McAvoy to be a hybrid of Ray Bork or Zdeno Chara. You know what I mean? And Charlie McAvoy is Charlie McAvoy.
Mm-hmm.
They expect Nikita Zadorov to be Zdeno Chara. They expect Elias Lindholm to be Patrice Bergeron. Because when you have success in certain positions for so long, they look for their successor to be a duplicate, not their own player.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that people kept calling Elias Lindholm Patrice Bergeron light.
Right.
Like there are some narratives out there. Sorry, but some of it comes from the media.
Well, I mean, if you look at his faceoffs this year, I could see, I mean, even Bergeron was talking about him last night about how good he is on faceoffs and stuff. So if you want to look at it that way, but Tuukka Rask brought up the best point because last night was the anniversary too of Bergeron scoring 4 goals against Carolina.
Yep.
And there was obviously Marchand had a hand in all of Bergeron's goals. And Tuukka Rask said that is years of chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Years. McAvoy and Zadorov have played together for not even a full season. Elias Lindholm and David Pastrnak have not played together for a full season.
Right.
Morgan Geekie and David Pastrnak have not played together for a full season. None of these teams have.
Sorry, I can't help but laugh at Dom's comment. He says, "Hi, kids. McAvoy had 2 giveaways last night. It's all Lorhei's fault. I can't even trust him on the 9th floor. Trade him now."
Hi, Dom.
What were we talking about earlier that I wanted Dom's? Oh, a conditioning stint. Dom, now that you're here, I don't remember what the parameters are for the conditioning stint. Oh boy, he says he is 88.378%. Well, hopefully this isn't in that 12% part of you. The conditioning stint, I believe if they miss 5 games, they're eligible for one, something to that degree. And I just can't remember if they are only eligible to do a conditioning stint one time in a season or what. And obviously we're on here, so I'm not going to go look it up. But Dom, if you could throw some info about conditioning stints in the chat, you'd save me some time. Because then we also don't have to bring it up next week. But, well, now we know Kevin needs to go eat because he's only at 72.865%. So anyway, I do like that though. We can't even trust Mason Lorhei on the 9th floor. It's time to trade him now. He just looks at the play and it gets screwed up apparently. I've heard trade Lorhei, trade Zacha, trade Swayman is still out there. I mean, is there anybody on this team on the NHL roster that people don't want traded? Obviously, Middlestat and Arvidsson are the top 2 on people's list.
NHL conditioning stints or loans are temporary assignments to the AHL for players needing game action with specific rules. They require player consent, cannot exceed 14 consecutive days or 6 days in 3 games for an LTIR loan, and the player receives their NHL salary while on loan. The player remains on the NHL roster and salary cap, but the assignment bypasses the usual waiver requirements for sending a player to the AHL. A team cannot use a conditioning loan to evade other rules, as the commissioner can investigate.
Yeah, and to answer Dom's question, I was talking about for Mason Lorhei. I know he's not eligible for one right now, but if they held him out long enough, could he, in theory, go down for a conditioning stint and play a couple games in Providence and then come back up?
A conditioning stint allows a team to send a player without having to place them on waivers, which would normally be required for reassignment. The most common reasons allow an injured player to regain game fitness, or in some cases for a healthy scratch to get game action.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
I know he's not eligible for it right now. I'm not saying that's what they would do, but
and
because I know he wasn't here earlier.
He counts against the salary cap and the 23-man roster.
Yeah. Does it say how long a player has to sit out to be eligible for it?
No.
Maybe Dom can answer that because he said that you answered it all. That's the only other question that I have about it. But I like Kevin's idea. If he would actually get behind a microphone and a camera again, he says one day we should do a show with him, Dom, me, and you.
I'd be 100% down for that.
But then he says that means that he can piss you off in real time, which, Kevin, I can do that plenty. All I have to do is mention what if Swayman gets injured. See? I just did it. Gayle, don't hate us too much. Wonder what the emoji is for that.
For those of you not watching and listening, like at a later date, I just flipped off Chris.
Yeah, and for some reason, when you do other things like hold up hearts and stuff like that with your fingers, we get little emoji bubbles. So let's see. Heart. There it is. Yep. Dom says there's no time he has to be a scratch. Bettman just has to approve it. Okay. Well, then there you go. And all I have to do is mention the Bruins should lose.
Dom, is your grandson watching?
It might be. Which, by the way, shout out to Dom's second grandchild's birthday this past weekend.
Happy birthday, second grandchild.
That's all. Just figured we'd give Dom and his family a little shout out there. So anyway.
So if you're not going to play him, as long as Bettman approves it, he can go down and play down in Providence without having to put him on waivers, which might not be a bad thing. He's in the tub. Okay, so I'm still going to be good just in case.
People do go back and watch it, so we'll go with the nonverbal cues, I guess. People will actually have to tune in and watch to see. But anyway, you were saying.
So I mean, it might not be a bad thing, but the issue with sending him, right? Lorhei would have to agree. Now, if Sturm says we're not going to play you, but you want to get game action, I'm sure he would agree to it just to have his feet touch the ice again.
Well, I would also say, what reason does Mason Lorhei have to not agree to it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why Lorhei would say no.
Because I'm not saying they have to do it tomorrow or whatever. Like, obviously, scheduling will play a part of it. But in general, for him to sit there and say no, it wouldn't make any sense, because it would also then show that you're not working with the team on your development.
Right.
So it would be a bad look to the organization. Like, if that were the case, if they went to him and said, listen, you've missed 5 games now. We want to send you down to Providence for a conditioning stint, get you a game or 2 down there based on what the schedule looks like. Let's say it's get you a game down there, and as soon as you come back up, we want to get you in a game here. We want to make sure your legs are under you before you play up here. Show us in these 2 games that you have figured things out defensively. And
I'm sure, and Dom's right, that there have been players to refuse it, but I'm sure a young kid like Mason Lorhei is not going to tell Marco Sturm, Don Sweeney, Ryan Mougenel, Adam McQuaid, Zdeno Chara. No. He's not going to do that.
He could. I'm not ruling it out.
But I don't see him, because I think the way the Bruins would present it is exactly the way you just said it. You've missed 5 games. You're sitting up on the 9th floor. Yes, you're practicing with the team. Let's get you down, get a game in Providence, make sure that your fitness is still there, your game legs are still there. You come back up, boom. Actually, let's talk about Brandon Bussey there, Mr. Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin says, how about Brandon Bussey playing a great role over there in
Carolina?
They're
at risk right now with their goaltending situation.
Yeah. Brandon Bussey might be getting claimed off of waivers.
Yeah. Oh, but wait.
Although, I don't think he has to clear.
Supposed to get claimed.
Bussey was already they claimed Bussey off of waivers. So yeah, it's going to get real interesting over there now that Kochetkov is coming back up, because they're Anderson and Kochetkov injury issues in general between the two of them this season. Like Brandon Bussey's been their most reliable guy, simply because they can go to him and he's not going to get hurt. I don't know. They may decide to carry 3 for a little bit. They have some young guys that don't require waivers that they could send down instead as skaters. Let me just pull Carolina up real quick. I mean, they got plenty of cap space, so there's no cap crunch for them. Let's see. They currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. They have all 12 forward spots filled. Carrier and Eric Robinson are both on IR. And then Keandre Miller and Jacob Slavin are both on IR right now. And they're carrying 8 defensemen. 8, 20. They got 23. Yeah, they got 23. They're not in that much of an issue. Now, they'll have an issue when either Slavin, Miller, Robinson, or Carrier come off of IR. But, I mean, the only one who's dancing around has been Keandre Miller. And I believe, because he was day-to-day for a bit. So, you see Dom's comment? Trade DiPietro for Bussey. Throw in Lorhei if you have to, just in case Corby gets hurt.
Oh, Dom!
I mean, he's got a point, Yeah, that show would be fun, Kevin. Kevin, you're the only one who's not making it happen, because I can almost, Dom, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can almost guarantee if Kevin were to be in, we'd find a way to make Dom, we'd accommodate Dom's schedule.
Listen, we can figure it out if we need to do it on a different night.
So, again, Kevin is the one who's going to back out, so it's okay. Anyway, it is approaching 8 o'clock. Yep. I said Corby, not Swayman. Yeah, why are you mad? He said, what if Corby gets hurt, not what if Swayman gets hurt? So, I'm not upset that they let Bussey go. I'm just saying that for the record. I don't know if he'd have this kind of success in Boston.
Give me the link. I'll say, oh, really? Will you really jump on, Kevin?
He won't. That's why I'm going to do it. I know. I'm sure Dom is busy, especially if his grandson is taking his bath right now. But we'll. Now I got to go find Kevin. Kevin, it is in your Twitter messages. He won't prove us wrong. He'll prove us right. We're waiting, Kevin. Ball's in your court. This is the most interesting part. More interesting than anything I've said all night.
So while we're waiting for Kevin to may or may not prove us right or wrong, I'm going to throw out that Monday is the first day of training camp for the Fleet.
Ah, yes.
I will be out there. I will be out there for the first day of camp.
Uh-oh.
Is he coming on?
Hey! Oh!
What's going on?
Kevin O'Keefe behind a camera again.
Can you see me?
Yes, we can.
I can't see me.
That's okay.
That's strange.
Dude.
What is going on, guys?
It's good to see you, buddy.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Well, Gayle, I hate to say this, but I guess I lied to you earlier when you asked if we had any special guests coming on.
He's here. He's in the house.
Yeah. Man. We do have to do that show with all four of us, so.
Absolutely.
I agree. We'll have to do it at some point. We'll have to figure out a time that works for everyone, and we'll get it going.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
But, Gayle, we should lose.
Yes, sir.
We should lose. We should continue to lose.
Are you tell me you are not enjoying the highs of this team winning, no?
Oh, of course I am. I mean, I'm really enjoying seeing what Geeky's doing. Geeky's been one of those players that's really giving me hope for the future. Zaka, he's starting to kind of get in there as well. He's giving me a little bit of hope that you might have some stability to the second line there. He can be one of those anchor points. Adding in a guy like Hagens, if he's able to really get his stuff going, is going to make me happy. I think we really need a kid of his skill infused in that top six. So I really hope he pulls it all together. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. The team is just, they're up and down. They're wonky. They're middle of the pack. And it scares
That's what
the
I
crap
said
out
they
of
were
me.
going to be,
And
though.
it scares the crap out of me because it's, in my opinion, it's like you have to be either up here or down here if you want to go somewhere. That's just where I feel.
Okay.
But Kevin, have you looked at the whole East? Right now,
Yes.
Everyone is a game or two above or below 500.
And that also is kind of sketchy. It feels like it's like the same thing is happening in the National Football League this year.
Right.
What's going on with sports this year?
I don't know, but it's really weird. It's usually the West is the conference that's a little wonky, and this year it's the East.
So, Kevin, you said the top are the ones that are feel like they're going somewhere. The bottom are the ones that are going somewhere, and it's the middle that you want to avoid. Those are your words.
Yes,
okay.
Because at the bottom, you at least have a chance to really build something. You know what I mean?
In the bottom, you're going to the toilet. In the top, you're going to the playoffs. Which one would you rather be closer to?
Not necessarily. I think if this team finished in the bottom,
so 10, which bottom team?
Hold on, let me finish.
No. Which bottom team goes to the playoffs?
Hold on. We don't need to go to the playoffs this year. That's my whole point. My track of success for this team was banking on them getting another top 10 pick this year. And then afterwards, I think moving forward, we would just continue to get better because we have two number one picks this year, two of them. Mm-hmm. You got one in the top 10 and one closer to the end. You might hit on both. This is a good draft. Ask Dom, he'll tell you. This is a good draft. I mean, I think that if we added, kind of like in 2015, we went from being middle of the pack there, kind of whatever.
Yeah, to bring up 2015.
Hold on. But
the good thing is he's not shitting all over it.
DeBrusque was a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
Carlo, we got in that draft. Good pick. I can't say
Zboril was a good pick.
Zboril was a good pick. If it was not for the injury, Zboril would have been a lot different.
I agree, because I always said I want to see Zboril with McAvoy. Always wanted to see it. So.
Oh, yeah. There were plenty of times.
In the few times
we have episodes where you and I talked about that.
Yeah, in the future. Yeah, Chris, you and I were always on that. Put Zboril with McAvoy. And then he got injured, and what the hell happened? Because he was doing damn good up there with McAvoy until then.
That injury really, it just affected him.
It did. And it sucks because he was taken right where he should have been. Anyone blaming Sweeney for taking Zaboral in that spot is nuts.
Well, and again, I'd like to throw out that Sweeney was hired during that process and really was not in charge of that draft.
Right.
I want
Correct.
I want to get to Dom's comment right here. He said a top 20 pick in 2026 is a top 10 draft pick in 2025. That's how deep this draft is. So to what Dom just said, Kevin, if you want to have those two high-end talents, you want 2 picks in the top 20.
But don't you want a better shot at Gavin McKenna? Because I do.
One team gets Gavin McKenna.
Right, and I want it to be us. You can't say you wouldn't love that, right? Am I right? Are we winning
Of course, Chris,
are we winning a cup this year?
Probably not.
All right. Yeah, I'd say it's like 95% no. So I'd take McKenna.
So you would rather have do you know what the odds are of you not getting Gavin McKenna?
Yes, I get that. But if we nail the number 1 pick, he's ours, 100%. Let a boy dream. I would love it. Him and Higgins and Pasa together.
Hold on, real quick. I want to do. There's a piece of math I want to do here for you.
This is my first time on screen since 2022. By the way,
I know. I've called you out for it plenty of times. Do you know how many times I've called you out just to try to get you to do this?
Yeah, well, I had to do it right now because you're like, oh, you're not going to do it. I was like, you want to make a bet? Send me the link. Send me the damn link.
Some dumb guy from Dom prior to the 2015 draft said you will never win a cup with Barzal as your guy.
Who said that? Was that you, Dom?
Pretty sure Dom said that. Yeah. So if you have the first and second spots in the draft lottery, so you have the worst and second worst records, at best, you have a 39% chance of Gavin McKenna.
Okay. That's pretty damn good, though.
That's a 60% chance you don't get him.
No, if you just said if you have the first and second, like say we had the first.
So if you are dead, if the Bruins keep this in mind, first of all, you have to have the first overall pick and the second overall pick odds going into the draft lottery.
That gives you the best odds. I like that. I like that spot. But
your best odds.
But it ain't gonna happen.
Your best odds are 39%. To get Gavin McKenna.
Yeah.
Those are your best odds.
And I'll take that over no odds. I'll take that over no odds.
Okay. Your best odds at getting Gavin McKenna put you at a 61% chance to not get Gavin McKenna. All right. And by the way, that is your best chance. You don't have the opportunity to get the second, third, or fourth draft spots because that pick from Toronto is top 5 protected. So if the lottery moves it into the top 5, you don't get that pick.
Toronto is not finishing there. Let's not even go there. They're not finishing. They're not going to be top 5. They're not going to be top 5.
But my point is you're. But what I'm trying to tell you, Kevin, is the odds that you're trying to bank on to get Gavin McKenna out of one of those 2 draft picks, because you do have 2 of them. Your odds are damn near impossible compared to the ones that say that you are not going to get him.
All right.
So if you're playing for Gavin McKenna, you are making a big miscalculation.
All right, but this is my point. If you don't, obviously we're saying Gavin McKenna is the top prize. Everyone would want him, obviously. But I would take,
if I were Boston, I would actually. If I were Boston, I wouldn't even take McKenna. I need the right shot D more.
If I were
I'd go
to be picking
Verhoff.
in that top 10 though, I'd be getting a pretty damn good consolation prize.
Yeah, Dom just says I'm not sure I take McKenna first overall, and there are more and more people saying that now. Yeah, if I'm Boston, I especially highlight and circle the crap out of Keaton Verhoff.
Then maybe we do end up with McKenna. Then maybe my dream comes true. Then.
No, McKenna's not falling out of the top 3.
Okay, so maybe we.
All right, we're not talking to James Hagen's fall.
Maybe we get the third. All right, so let's say we finish outside of the playoffs. We're in the lottery. Say we finish like 11th. We got the 11th best odds, and we go up to top 3. That'd be pretty great. I mean, I just want to be in the lottery. That's all. I don't care to see losing playoff hockey. I just want to be in the
One
lottery.
of your picks will be in the lottery. How's that?
Huh?
At least one of your picks will be in the lottery.
Do you think there's a chance Tampa's pick ends up in the the Leafs pick ends up in the lottery?
Yes.
I do too. If we have 2 picks in the lottery, I will be the happiest camper you've ever seen.
Okay.
You know what?
That's fine.
I'll give you this, actually. If Tampa's falls in the draft lottery,
Toronto.
I don't care if we make the playoffs. Have fun.
You mean Toronto?
Toronto. I don't know why I keep saying Tampa. Probably because they suck too.
All right. Well, maybe next week we can get you on for a full episode here, Kevin.
Maybe. But I do want to leave this off saying this. I don't hate this team. In my heart, I want them to win. I want them. I get excited when they win. But at the same time, I just think to myself,
That's
what is the
clipping,
best
Kevin,
route,
just so you know.
What is the best route for this team to get to the promised land? And I think it's through the draft. So that's where my stance is.
You know what? Gayle, you got anything to add to it? I'm going to let Kevin have the last word here.
Not about the Bruins. Kevin said
Was
it
there
all.
Was there anything that you wanted to add about the Fleet? Because that was right when Kevin jumped on.
The Fleet?
Yeah, I'm going. The first day of training camp is Monday.
Oh, is that the women's team?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's their first full practice with the new team. Not sure when they're gonna name a captain. They're in the same boat as the Bruins. Traded away they didn't trade. They left her exposed, so she's gone. But so we'll see what happens. But yeah, season starts officially on Monday with camp.
Interesting.
Awesome.
Where can we watch it, Gayle?
You can watch the PWHL right on YouTube. It's free on YouTube, all of their games.
I like free.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Who's the best players that we got on the Fleet this year?
Alina Mueller.
Okay.
Is going to be your top goal scorer. You still have one of the best goaltenders in the world in Aaron Frankel.
Okay.
And one of the best defenders in Megan Keller.
You're selling me, Gayle.
And they have a new coach this year, Chris Sparry, new coach. So
I'm going to check out some Fleet hockey. I'm going to check it out. Now I can add that to my list of the Bruins and BC. I can't catch many Providence games, so whenever I can, I'll check them out. But
yeah, the Fleet, their first game is November 23rd, Sunday, 1:00 against Montreal.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Well, Kevin, thanks again for jumping in.
I'm not free, but I'm
I told you Don wouldn't care.
Kevin, listen, you need to get some of your thoughts together for next week.
If I come on next week.
You meant you.
Oh boy.
You're going to be in the chat.
Maybe I'm not.
Who has best goalie pads? Are we talking Aaron Frankel?
Oh no, I think that's where Tyler's going with it. So anyway,
I'm very rusty. I need to get my on camera gist back. I need to get all that.
That's okay. We'll help you with that.
Yep, absolutely.
So anyway, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Kevin, again, thanks for jumping on. Dom, thanks for jumping in the comments. Tyler, Jason, everyone else who threw in their couple cents worth here. Matrix, yep. I know there's other people I'm forgetting, but appreciate it. And we'll be back next week, 6:30 on Wednesday. And until then,